Psychology says that those born into the world of 2026 are entering a rare evolutionary experiment, a time when the human brain is being asked to bridge the gap between two different eras of existence. If you are beginning your journey in this year, your mind is being wired in a way that is fundamentally different from any generation that came before you. You are not a product of the digital transition. You are a native of the integrated age. While others look at you and see a child of technology, psychology sees something much more profound. You are the first generation to possess what we might call a hybrid consciousness, a mind capable of navigating a world where the physical and the digital are no longer two separate places, but a singular, seamless reality. This is not a sign of being disconnected or superficial. It is a sign of a high-functioning cognitive system that has adapted to a level of information velocity that would have shattered the nervous systems of previous decades. If you are born in 2026, your brain is developing a unique form of neuroplasticity. You are learning to process multiple streams of reality simultaneously, not because you are distracted, but because your baseline for cognitive load is naturally higher. You are entering a world where your very identity is built on a foundation of global interconnectedness, yet this brings with it a psychological weight that most people are not prepared to handle. The first thing you must understand is that your sense of solitude will be different. For previous generations, being alone meant being physically isolated. For you, solitude is a luxury that must be consciously fought for. Because you are born into a world of constant digital presence, your nervous system is essentially always on. This creates a specific psychological friction. You may find that you experience a deeper, more persistent form of social exhaustion than your parents ever did. This isn't because you are antisocial or weak. It is because your brain is processing thousands of microsignals, social cues, and data points every hour. You are managing a global social circle before you even understand the concept of a local one. This leads to a state of high social sensitivity, where the off switch becomes your most valuable tool for survival. There is a cost to this depth of connection. You will likely face a profound loneliness that looks nothing like the loneliness of the past. It is the loneliness of being surrounded by everything and everyone at once, yet feeling that your individual signal is lost in the noise. You may find that you struggle with a sense of being too much or not enough, because the bar for human achievement is no longer set by your neighbor, but by the highest performers on the planet. This is the uncomfortable truth of 2026. Your mind is being calibrated against a global standard from the moment you take your first breath. This can lead to a fragmentation of the self, where you feel you must perform different versions of your identity to satisfy 1,000 different mirrors. However, this psychological friction is also where your greatest strength is forged. Because you are forced to navigate this complexity, you are developing an advanced form of self-regulation that psychologists once thought was only possible through years of meditation or therapy. You are learning to curate your reality. While older generations are often victims of their environment, you are becoming an architect of yours. You have an innate understanding of boundaries, not because you are cold, but because you are competent. You know that your attention is a limited resource, and you are becoming incredibly selective about who and what gets access to your internal world. Your brain is also developing a rare form of cognitive agility. In the past, people were taught to specialize, to learn one thing and do it forever. But born in 2026, you are learning to learn. Your mind is a search engine, a processor, and a creator all at once. You don't see information as something to be memorized, but as something to be synthesized. This makes you seem distant to those who value traditional ways of thinking, but in reality, you are operating on a higher level of efficiency. You are bypassing the fog of abstract feelings and moving straight towards structure and execution. You are not losing the ability to think deeply. You are changing the way depth is achieved. We must also talk about your relationship with time. For you, time is not a linear path of milestones. It is a continuous, fluid experience. You are born into the era of instant gratification, which many will tell you is a weakness. But from a psychological perspective, this has actually increased your expectations for the world around you. You have a zero-tolerance policy for inefficiency and inauthenticity. You are not impatient. You are calibrated for a faster reality. This analog patience that older generations prize so highly often looks like stagnation to you. You are wired for movement, for progress, and for the constant evolution of the self. But there is a shadow to this wiring. Because you are so focused on the next evolution,
You may struggle to sit with the emptiness that is necessary for true creative breakthroughs. Your brain has become addicted to stimulation because it has never known a world without it. This is the part people don't like hearing. You will have to teach yourself how to be bored. You will have to intentionally fracture your connection to the world to find the connection to yourself. If you don't, you risk becoming a high-performance engine with no driver, moving at incredible speeds but with no sense of destination. Yet, as you grow, you will find that your independence is your greatest asset. You are part of a generation that is moving away from external validation. Because you have seen the mask-wearing and the performance of social media from infancy, you have developed a sharper intuition for what is real. You can spot a lie, a hidden motive, or a fake personality instantly. You aren't being judgmental, you are protecting your peace. You are choosing depth over quantity, staying alone until you find something that actually resonates with your internal frequency. This makes you seem selective, perhaps even elitist to some, but it is actually a sign of a healthy, self-aware identity. You are carrying forward capabilities that are essential for the future of the human race. The independence that others see as coldness is actually your competence. The comfort with digital silence that looks like antisocial behavior is actually your depth. Your ability to navigate a chaotic, hyper-connected world without losing your sense of self is a form of psychological discipline that has never been seen before. You survived a transition that would have broken previous generations, and you are coming out the other side with a stronger mind and a more resilient spirit. Most people will look back at this era and say it was the most difficult time to be a child. They will talk about the loss of the feral childhood and the rise of the screened world. But they are missing the magic. They are missing the fact that you are the pioneers of a new way of being human. You are experiencing a world where the mind is finally being freed from the constraints of geography and physical limitation. You are the bridge to whatever comes next. If you feel out of place, remember that you are not outdated. You are the update. You are operating on a higher level of awareness, sensitivity, and depth. You have a richer inner world than you are often credited for, and your intuition is sharper because it has been sharpened by the complexity of the world you were born into. Sometimes the strongest minds are those that have to find their own way through the noise. You are not broken, you are not a failure, and you are certainly not a product. You are a unique psychological event, and the world is still catching up to who you are. You are now part of a collective of individuals who understand that depth is not found in the past, but in the way we handle the present. If you recognize this evolution within yourself, you are exactly where you need to be. We are moving toward a future where clarity and self-respect are the only currencies that matter. Choose to stand in your own truth.